Tamra Chandler, Feedback, and Other Dirty Words, Why We Fear It, How to Fix It. Welcome to the exciting world of Feedback and Other Dirty Words, a book by Tamra Chandler that tackles our fears and mishandling of feedback in the workplace. Through this summary, you'll discover why our brain reacts so negatively to feedback and how to counteract it. You will delve into the importance of trust, the power of noticing, and the benefits of seeking feedback from diverse sources. With a focus on a growth mindset and actionable tips for both giving and receiving feedback, this engaging summary will guide you in building a better, more productive feedback culture in your organization.
Unlocking the power of feedback. The mere mention of feedback can induce anxiety in many of us, stemming from fear of failure and past experiences with poorly delivered feedback. However, when given effectively, feedback can spur substantial growth and improvement in both individuals and organizations. Despite its tarnished reputation, the majority of employees crave more honest and constructive feedback. In order to harness the full potential of feedback, it's essential to recognize and confront the reasons behind our collective missteps in handling it. Our heart races, palms sweat, and our mind overflows with questions upon hearing the words, "I have some feedback for you." Though the feedback might be harmless or even positive, our defensive reaction exposes our struggle with handling it appropriately. Feedback has long been mishandled, causing damage to employee morale and organizational growth. Ineffective leaders utilize it as a way to punish or manipulate staff with little regard for their well-being. Even well-intentioned managers hoard feedback to release it all at once during annual performance reviews, overwhelming employees. Likewise, as receivers of feedback, we often respond with defensiveness, challenging the facts, or pointing fingers at others. However, feedback, when delivered properly, fosters meaningful improvements in individual and organizational performance. A 2018 study examining various performance management techniques in 57 U.S. companies discovered that the most significant driver of measurable improvement was creating a performance feedback culture. This approach focuses on training managers to give useful feedback and incentivizing them to follow through. Companies excelling in providing feedback experienced double the financial gains compared to those with the poorest feedback practices. Additionally, effective feedback was the management practice most strongly correlated with employee motivation. Despite feedback's negative reputation, the top complaint made by employees to management consultants is the lack of it. A 2018 global study by Office Vibe revealed an astounding 62% of workers desired more feedback, while 83% appreciated it, regardless of its positive or negative nature. It's clear that people yearn for valuable feedback, and fostering a thriving feedback culture is advantageous for any organization. However, to establish such a culture, we must first address and overcome the issues causing our misguided approach to feedback. By understanding the underlying factors leading to these negative associations and experiences, we can work towards transforming feedback into a powerful catalyst for growth and success. Taming feedback fear. Feedback can often trigger fear responses in our brains due to our evolutionary past and past negative experiences. The amygdala, responsible for these fear responses, can make it difficult for us to process feedback constructively. To help manage these reactions, techniques like focusing on our physical sensations and practicing 4-7-8 breathing can help us stay calm and engage our prefrontal cortex, leading to better handling of feedback. Our reactions to feedback can be tied back to our evolutionary histories. The amygdala, a primal part of our brain, initiates fear responses in perceived threats. While these responses were crucial for our ancestors when faced with dangers like saber-toothed tigers, they are less productive in today's modern situations, such as receiving feedback from a boss. When the amygdala recalls previous negative feedback experiences, our minds and bodies go into overdrive. Our ability to reason and control emotions disappears, making it difficult to process any new feedback, even if it's beneficial. So, how can we manage our fear responses and remain level-headed during feedback sessions? One way is to focus on our physical sensations. Our brains can only engage one area at a time. When reacting with fear, the amygdala is in control. By consciously concentrating on our bodily sensations, such as the feeling of our feet on the floor, we can engage our prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for rational thought. This shift in focus helps suppress the amygdala's fear response. If you become overly anxious during feedback, practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Silently inhale through your nose for 4 counts, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds. This exercise not only shifts your focus but also slows your heart rate, helping you relax. Though this technique is useful, it's only a temporary fix. A long-term solution requires adopting better feedback approaches, leading to more productive processing of feedback and healthier responses overall. Embracing powerful feedback. Feedback, when properly defined and approached, can be a significant catalyst for personal and professional growth. To receive or offer feedback effectively, one must ensure that it is specific, clear, and focuses on promoting improvement. Fostering a growth mindset by actively seeking feedback, being open to criticism, and adopting resilience can significantly enhance learning experiences and help individuals reach their potential. Feedback can propel people and groups towards progress by providing clear and specific information that encourages development. Ambiguous remarks, such as, "keep doing what you're doing" or "follow Janie's example," are of little value. Instead, feedback should inspire action by offering precise insights. However, the onus does not only lie on the giver of feedback, it must also be actively sought out by those seeking improvement. Waiting for feedback to come your way is not enough. Its primary purpose should be to support growth and inspire positive change, neither to flex one's power or belittle others. Embracing a growth mindset can significantly transform your attitude towards feedback. According to Stanford psychologist Dr. Carol Dweck, people can possess 2 types of mindsets, fixed or growth. Those with a fixed mindset view inherent qualities like intelligence and talent as unchangeable traits, while individuals with a growth mindset see them as starting points for further development. They are passionate about learning and exhibit mental resilience. Unlike their fixed mindset counterparts, growth-minded individuals actively seek feedback and view criticism as a learning opportunity. By cultivating a growth mindset, you become more receptive to feedback and better equipped to learn from it. To enhance your response to workplace challenges, replace thoughts like, "I cannot do this," with, "I can't do this yet." If you find someone excelling in an area you struggle with, seek advice and remind yourself that with improvement comes tangible results. Embrace the power of feedback and embark on a journey of continuous growth. Building a strong feedback culture. The foundation of a robust feedback culture involves developing relationships based on trust, maintaining a healthy ratio of positive to negative interactions, and cultivating the skill of noticing without judgment to make feedback sessions more helpful and transformative. Establishing a thriving feedback culture is rooted in building genuine connections and fostering trust among colleagues. People are more likely to value and act upon feedback when it comes from trusted sources. Therefore, investing time and effort in forging strong relationships with coworkers is crucial. Engage in active listening, be present during conversations, and approach others' ideas and perspectives without judgment. Drawing inspiration from Dr. John Gottman's 5-to-1 ratio principle for happy and stable relationships, where couples should have at least 5 positive interactions for every negative one, apply this concept to workplace relationships. By increasing the proportion of positive connections, coworkers will benefit from a more collaborative and harmonious environment. An essential but often understated element in feedback culture is the art of noticing. Noticing entails observing people and situations objectively, free from judgment or emotion. In the context of feedback, this means staying tuned into coworkers' experiences and focusing on current circumstances. By doing so, you can provide clear and factual insights rather than relying on annual performance reviews or secondhand information. Noticing leads to more transformative feedback conversations by emphasizing objective details over blame or judgment. For example, instead of expressing disappointment in a coworker for not meeting a deadline, bring attention to the specific observation, being 4 hours behind on a project, and clarify any agreements that may have been breached. This approach fosters a more constructive atmosphere where coworkers can work together to rectify issues and improve performance. By mastering the art of noticing, your ability to provide consistent, useful feedback will improve exponentially. Embrace this process, and experience the transformative potential of an effective feedback culture. However, some individuals may need to actively seek feedback from others. As such, exploring appropriate ways to request feedback is equally vital in building a strong feedback culture in the workplace. Embrace feedback for success. A key to improving performance is proactively seeking feedback rather than simply waiting for it. Begin by asking specific, focused questions to make it easier for others to provide insightful comments. Also, gather feedback from diverse sources, including peers who work closely with you, as they can offer valuable perspectives. Embracing feedback in this manner leads to better performance, stronger teams, and an overall enhanced feedback culture within your organization. To unlock remarkable improvements in both your performance and the overall culture of your organization, don't merely wait for feedback, actively ask for it. Studies show organizations that encourage seeking feedback see better outcomes and experience stronger teamwork. Start by ensuring your questions are focused, specific, and easy for others to address. Broad queries regarding your performance tend to stress feedback providers and result in general, less helpful responses. Instead, pinpoint a particular aspect of your work or an upcoming task, and ask for their feedback on it. For instance, when preparing for a presentation, request observations on your body language and engagement with the audience for actionable, meaningful advice. Diversify your feedback sources for a well-rounded picture of your performance. Instead of relying solely on a manager's viewpoint, gather input from multiple colleagues with different perspectives. Your immediate peer group, who know you best and see your strengths and weaknesses firsthand, is a valuable yet often neglected feedback source. According to a study by Globoforce, peer-to-peer recognition has a 36% greater positive impact on financial results than recognition from managers alone. Incorporating various voices into the feedback conversation fosters a richer exchange of ideas. Actively seeking and embracing feedback not only propels your growth but also contributes to a supportive and collaborative work environment. Mastering feedback receptivity. To effectively utilize feedback, actively participate with questions and assume positive intentions. For challenging feedback, identify the truth, biases, and potential for growth. Receiving feedback shouldn't be a passive experience. If you genuinely want to make the most of it, be prepared to put in some effort. A great way to ensure that feedback sessions truly benefit you is by asking the right questions. If you're presented with vague or unclear statements, don't hesitate to ask for specifics. Request examples to illustrate what the person giving feedback is emphasizing. It's important to delve deeper and inquire about the impact your actions have on others. A well-constructed question like, "Could you explain the impact that had on the team?" will help uncover the reasons behind any necessary behavior changes. If the feedback encompasses multiple issues, try narrowing the focus by asking, "What's the single thing I should be doing more of?" This encourages clarity and allows for more constructive conversations. It's essential to be aware of the emotional reactions that may surface as a result of feedback. Emotions can cloud our perception of the intentions of those providing feedback, leading to negative assumptions. For instance, when your manager inadvertently points out a mistake during a team meeting, it might feel like a deliberate attempt to embarrass you in front of your colleagues. However, it's likely that their intention was merely to address the error for future correction. To avoid falling into this trap, always assume that feedback providers have positive intentions and are aiming to help, not hurt. Despite this mindset, there still may be instances where feedback is difficult to hear. In these situations, it's essential to take control to prevent a downward emotional spiral. According to psychologist Susan Nolan-Hoeksema, one negative thought can set off a cascade of unrelated negative thoughts, ultimately overshadowing any positives. When faced with challenging feedback, take a moment to reflect on these questions. What about this feedback rings true? How might it be biased? Most importantly, how can you leverage this information for growth and progress? Diligent reflection can help transform punishment into progress and pave the way for self-improvement. Mastering feedback delivery. Self-awareness is key in providing effective feedback. Reflect on your communication style and ensure your intentions are genuinely aimed at fostering others' growth. Offer frequent, bite-sized insights, emphasizing positive feedback to bolster performance and impact. Remember that both the giver and receiver of feedback are constantly learning, and honing one's approach to communication can greatly enhance the overall outcome. Delivering impactful feedback requires understanding your own personality and the way your communication style might be perceived by others. Being straightforward might seem natural to you, but recognizing that your frankness could come across as harshness to someone more sensitive is crucial. Reflect on your approach to work and communication and be prepared to adjust your tone or method when needed. Before offering feedback, ensure that your intentions are motivated by a genuine desire to help others grow. When emotions such as anger or frustration play into your reasons for providing feedback, take a moment of introspection. Ask yourself if your intention truly aligns with the purpose of fostering growth and unity or if it's merely serving your own interests. To optimize your feedback process, focus on sharing frequent, concise insights. Studies show that learning and performance improves when individuals receive feedback consistently, throughout a learning process. Although our lives might feel overtaxed with information, offering casual feedback at least every 2 weeks is a great practice. It provides individuals the opportunity to grow and adapt continuously. Scheduling detailed feedback sessions every 2 weeks may not always be possible, so keep things digestible by sharing one key suggestion or goal for the receiver to concentrate on. Aim to create an environment of manageable, actionable feedback that can be incorporated into daily work. Lastly, don't underestimate the power of positive feedback. Research conducted by leadership consultant Jack Zenger reveals that managers often provide less praise than they think they do. Even if you believe you're offering ample positive feedback, a little more can significantly enhance the impact on those around you. In conclusion, the art of delivering feedback starts with self-awareness and a focus on facilitating growth. Providing frequent, bite-sized, and mostly positive insights will substantially improve the overall feedback experience and lead to a more productive and harmonious environment for everyone involved.
Having explored the summary of feedback and other dirty words, you have learned that the key to building a successful feedback culture lies in understanding our brain's reactions to feedback and adopting a growth mindset. By focusing on trust-building connections, practicing the art of noticing, and seeking feedback from multiple sources, you can encourage an environment where constructive criticism is valued. Importantly, remember to frequently give bite-sized feedback to aid in quicker improvement. Make a conscious effort to not only give negative feedback but also shine light on positive aspects. Acquiring these skills and embracing a feedback culture will ultimately lead to higher employee motivation, better performance, and stronger teams within the organization.